In 2026, investing looks like a button, not a skill. Warren scrolls his phone at midnight and every other post is someone getting rich. One guy shows a green chart and calls it passive income, while another says, "You're late if you don't buy this week." Warren isn't greedy. He's just tired of feeling behind. He works hard, pays bills, and still watches his bank balance flinch on payday. So he downloads a brokerage app and stares at a screen full of tickers. Stocks, crypto, AI funds, options, copy my portfolio, all screaming at once. He feels the beginner overwhelm that looks like urgency. That urgency is the first trap. It makes you think investing is step one, but it isn't. Before you invest a single dollar, you need to build something boring, because boring is what keeps you from panic selling at the worst moment. Today, I'm Warren, and I'm going to show you the beginner path that actually works. It's simple on purpose, because simple is repeatable. And in 2026, repeatable beats impressive. Here's the rule that saves people from years of damage. Don't invest yet until 3 basics are handled. Not because investing is bad, but because life is loud. A flat tire doesn't care about your long-term plan. A surprise copay doesn't wait for the market to recover. When you have no buffer, every surprise forces you to liquidate something. That's how I'm investing turns into I'm cashing out. Most people blame themselves for that. The real problem is the order. Basic one is cash flow you can breathe in. Can you cover day-to-day expenses without juggling due dates? Rent, groceries, gas, utilities, and the minimums. If the answer is no, the market won't rescue you. It will just add one more moving part to a shaky month. So the first win is stability, not returns. Warren calls this the calm month, where bills get paid once, not twice. If you're missing that, start with a budget that tells the truth. Not a cute budget, a survival budget. One that shows what your life costs after taxes. Because investing with fake numbers is gambling with your rent. Basic 2 is debt minimums, always. If you're behind on payments, your money is already bleeding. Late fees, penalty APRs, collections, calls, stress. You can't out-invest a fire in your kitchen. Put the fire out first. Now, basic 3 is the one that changes everything. An emergency fund, not someday savings. Real emergency money. Money that makes a $400 problem boring. The Federal Reserve tracks a simple question. Can you cover a $400 surprise? In the latest Shed data, about 2/3 say yes with cash or its equivalent. That means a huge chunk of adults still have to scramble for small shocks. Scrambling is expensive. It turns 1 bill into 3 bills. An emergency fund is how you stop paying that chaos tax. Most experts suggest 3 to 6 months of essential expenses for emergencies. And if your income is irregular, guidance can be more conservative, closer to 9 to 12 months. You don't build that overnight. You build it like you build a wall, 1 brick at a time. Start with your first brick, $100, then $250, then $500. Keep it separate so it doesn't disappear into just this once. Where do you keep it in 2026? Somewhere safe, liquid, and boring. A high-yield savings account or money market account is built for that job. It won't make you rich, but it will keep you from selling investments on a bad day. Now you've handled the before investing part most people skip. Only then do we talk about investing versus debt, because that decision is not moral, it's math. If your debt interest rate is around 7% or higher, paying it down is a guaranteed return. It's like earning 7% with 0 market risk, because the interest stops charging you. The SEC's investor guidance is blunt about this. High interest debt is one of the best investments to eliminate. Credit cards can charge rates that crush any realistic investing plan. So if you're sitting on expensive revolving debt, attack it first. Your future self will feel the difference fast. But if your debt is low rate, like a 3% to 4% student loan or mortgage, the math can change. You can often make minimum payments and invest at the same time because the cost is lower and your time in the market matters. Kill the high interest stuff, coexist with the low interest stuff. Next, your employer plan, if you have one. A 401 is not exciting, which is exactly why it works. And the match is the closest thing to free money you'll ever see. If your employer matches, you want every dollar they're willing to give. At minimum, contribute enough to get the full match. Skipping the match is turning down a guaranteed raise. Inside that 401, you'll usually see two tax flavors. Traditional means you may get the tax break now and pay taxes later. Roth means you pay taxes now and your qualified withdrawals can be tax-free later. Neither is best for everyone. It depends on your tax bracket now versus later. The key is choosing one and actually starting. And there's a mistake that quietly wrecks beginners. Putting money into the account is not the same as investing it. Cash can sit there doing nothing if you don't pick funds. That's like loading groceries into your cart and walking out without checking out. So if you're confused, pick the simplest default most plans offer. A target date fund. It's designed to hold a mix of stocks and bonds and adjust over time. You pick a year near when you'll retire, then it does the rebalancing for you. That's autopilot for people who don't want a second job managing funds. After you capture the match, the next layer is investing outside the employer plan. This is where beginners get baited into stock picking because one lucky screenshot looks like a strategy. But concentrated bets are how beginners get humbled. In 2026, the easiest way to diversify is still the oldest way. Own the market, not a story. Index funds and broad ETFs are built for that. An index fund simply tracks a market index, like the S&P 500. You're buying a basket, not a single lottery ticket. Lower fees matter more than people think. The SEC shows how small fee differences can erase a shocking amount over time. So keep costs low, keep the portfolio simple, and keep your hands steady. This is where Warren Buffett's advice lands like a hammer. In his Berkshire letter, he told a trustee to use a very low-cost S&P 500 index fund for most of the money. It's because most people don't beat the market after fees and mistakes. So the plan for beginners is not genius. It's discipline. Automated. Dollar cost averaging means investing equal amounts on a schedule, no matter what headlines say. When prices drop, your fixed contribution buys more shares. When prices rise, you still participate without chasing. This removes the when should I buy panic loop. Fractional shares let you buy pieces of a share with a few dollars. That means you don't need thousands to begin building the habit. Here is the full beginner roadmap for 2026 inches plain English. Stabilize your month, pay your minimums, build the emergency buffer. Then crush high interest debt, capture the 401k match, and choose real investments inside the account. Then use low-cost index funds or broad ETFs and automate contributions. Do that for long enough and the results stop being dramatic. They become inevitable. The goal isn't to feel smart on a Tuesday. The goal is to be unbreakable on a random Thursday. If this took a weight off your chest, you're exactly who it's for. Send it to someone who's about to invest without a safety net. And if you want more money traps and exits in 2026, subscribe for the next one.